to the Ross Patterson Revolution! Brought to you by GhostBed.com. Yeah, Jabes.
Blam.
Woo!
When you blam, blam.
The draft last night went a little long, so Daddy has got to find some energy today. Got to find some strike force today.
You were like a little girl
I was.
in an American Doll store in New York last night, weren't
Well,
you?
Sort of. You crashed out last night, and I'm assuming.
What would you have me do?
No, but I'm assuming you didn't watch the draft, obviously.
I think I watched the first. It was something Ohio. There was a lot of Ohio State.
A lot of Ohio
So
State.
every time I heard that, I was kind of like, but didn't someone go to, this is going to sound so stupid.
Sure.
But someone went to like the Chiefs, not the Chiefs, but like
The Chefs?
the Indian, I don't know.
No, not even close.
Redskins. Somebody went to the Redskins that I was like, really?
Chase Young.
Yeah.
It was my
Is
guy.
that good?
He was
Is that
supposed
good
to.
or
He
bad?
was supposed to. I wanted the Falcons to trade up for him.
Okay. That was the only thing I was kind of looking at. And then our son wanted to watch something else.
Of course. Be on my team drafting someone terrible that I was not stoked about, which sent me off the rails last night.
Sure. And that was heard around the world. So that even like woke me up. I wasn't watching anything.
A lot of people
Your
were just like,
rant-
hey, man.
Your
I
rant
know.
from the studio woke me up. I was like in the middle of the night and I kind of like texted you and then you called me.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a mess. It was a player that was not supposed to fall this far down the draft board. All we had to do was draft him and didn't, and just took a guy that could have gotten the third round. The Falcons organization is like pallbearers. They will always find a way to let you down. You know what I'm saying? Boom.
Boom, blam, bang.
Boom, blam, nailed it.
Boom, blam, boom, bam, bam, nailed it.
But besides my team, right, because I try to look at everything objectively.
Sure.
Hosting a sports show. I felt, look, last night was fun because there was some form of sports back.
Right.
It felt
You were a different person.
strange, and I felt bad in a way. First of all, the show itself was very bloated. It went way, way, way too long. I mean, it took them. The first pick wasn't made until maybe 32 minutes in, and it felt like those Katrina relief commercials and all this stuff that you used to have. Now they're doing that for the COVID-19 of we're
Got
going to
it.
help each other and all this other shit.
Got it.
Jennifer Hudson came on and sang "Lean on Me." Here's the thing, man. I've heard every single celebrity singing "Lean on Me" at this point.
Lean on Me-
I believe there's a commercial with healthcare workers singing "Lean on Me" that's on every 5 minutes, right?
Or Amazing Grace or something like this. Or
We've
I'm
already
like,
done that
I've
as well?
I've heard
Yeah.
renditions of both those.
I love Jennifer Hudson, and she's the greatest singer in the world right now today.
Besides Adele, but yeah.
Probably her and Adele. It's a onesie-twosie. You know what I'm saying? If they go head-to-head, I don't know who wins that.
Sure.
But I didn't need to see "Lean on Me" before trying to watch something that I'm amped about and every man in America is amped about because there has been no sports for 2 weeks. And,
So I have to say, like, I usually, as you know, I like a draft because of the drama, the like, do you know what I mean? It's always this big kind of show, boom, 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 you're on the clock. Like, I'm into it.
Same.
And so I must admit, like, I had it on when we were playing and stuff, and it just felt there was no, the whole point of the draft is unnecessary pageantry.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Just for the sake of, because these are all things that could be done over the phone and in private.
Yeah.
In an office, which is how they used to be or whatever.
Yeah, that's how they used to be.
And so it's become this crazy thing that is bigger than it needs to be. And I love it. And I'm here for it. And so are you.
Yeah.
So it just sort of last night, even if I were going to watch it a little bit, which I did in the beginning, it just felt like I didn't really understand what it was. I felt like I was just kind of in somebody's office as they were like dealing with their business, which is what they all are doing.
Yeah.
And the only way that draft works to where I can like go along with the ride is if there's like a fountain and they come out on the boat and it's all ridiculous, right?
Yeah. And the suits and the whole thing, the pageantry behind it is
everything. So
all of it. And you had a lot of star power in this draft. So last night would have been that perfect opportunity. It was supposed to be in Vegas and the Bellagio fountains and all that stuff. And here's why I feel sad, and this is why I said this. You take the first pick in the draft, which is Joe Burrow. Everybody knew it was going to be Joe Burrow. He had the greatest college season for a quarterback in the history of college last year. I'm amped about it. I'm sure that kid, and along with all the kids last night, had dreamed about this day their entire life.
Right.
To actually make it to be a first-round draft pick or the first overall in the draft takes an incredible amount of hard work, and not just from you, your family and brothers and sisters. It takes a fucking village to make a number one pick. Mm-hmm. And here he was inside of his house of his parents. Looked like, a house from the 1970s, which a lot of houses in Ohio look like that. And it was his childhood home is where he was at. And he's got headphones like this plugged into an iPad sitting between his parents on their couch. And he's watching himself get virtually drafted on his iPad.
Okay.
And then he gets to talk to people afterwards. And it's sad, man, because you were like, all right, so where does he go? Where does Joe Burrow go tonight? He goes up to his childhood bedroom, dead serious, and goes to sleep with his girlfriend. No, I do know.
No, I know.
Hotels are shut down.
I know, but you don't know if he's kind of cool with that. I have no idea. But yeah, I'm sure he's not. I'm sure he wants to party.
I don't know, but I know this. I know his
Maybe
parents.
Maybe he did like anal or something.
Hopefully, with his girlfriend in his childhood bedroom.
I'm just saying I hope. I hope for him.
Yeah, of course. But all of these guys, like, dude, you work your ass off your entire life. I know Joe Burrow's parents retired so they could help him get down to Louisiana and try to figure out that whole sitch. And to make probably $45-50 million guaranteed, or 60, whatever it's going to be, and do it sitting on your couch without, it is the opposite of what you dream about. And all these kids. And one by one, you were cutting away to people's houses and, there was one kid from LSU, Justin Jefferson, right? Because Joe Burrow was wearing a T-shirt last night. It was made for him by Nike, and it was about this small town in Ohio that he's from.
Sure.
There was a kid named Justin Jefferson, and I want to give him a shout-out because everybody's in their living room, right? He got dressed up in a suit as if he was at the draft, and that almost made me cry, where I was just like, man, it looked like he probably had a pretty difficult upbringing, and that's the dream. And he's in the suit that he should have been out in Vegas to be on stage, and instead he's in his living room, and he got dressed up for it, and it was like his prom date hadn't shown up, and that's what made me feel. Did he get drafted though? He did, and but still, it's again, to work that hard and then it be ripped away from fucking disease in China is so goddamn stupid to me that the rest of this, and as the night went on, we took phone calls from people. I don't know how many we did last night, 30, 40, and we had to put the fucking phone up to the goddamn microphone.
It's fine.
Yeah, all of it was strange and foreign, and it just it felt weird. But Daniel, the ticket guru, who's a buddy of ours who's been on numerous times on Drinkin Bros Sports. The Cowboys got their dream pick, and they didn't have to do anything. It was because the Falcons fucked it up, right? Mm-hmm. We have a ton of Cowboys fans that are listeners of the show, and a lot of my friends personally are Cowboys fans, right? Yeah. Xander was over there last night at
Benny's?
Yeah. So they were watching it together. Both Cowboy fans,
Oh my gosh, I love that.
No, so we had both of them on last night, and I asked Benny. I said, "Hey man, because he's a ticket broker, what's the rest of the year look like for you?" And I was like, congratulations on your team getting the best player. That's awesome, and it's going to make a huge difference.
Sure.
Is there going to be fans there to watch it? And he goes, no. And he goes, me and all of my ticket broker friends have said that there will not be fans at any events the rest of the year, and we're shutting down 2020 for us, and we're hunkering down, and hopefully things come back to normal in 2021. And I was like, Benny, we're in April, man. And I was like, that's a full 8 months. Are you sure? And he was like, I'm positive. And he goes, we're shutting it down for the year, and hopefully things can come back at the end of the year and going into 2021. But that's it, man.
So do these players though get paid?
We do, and they'll get their normal salary as long as but they have to play. So you've got to play the games this year, or else you do not get paid.
Okay.
So that's the deal. You'll get some form of signing bonus if you're in the first 3 rounds, but if you're not, you're sweating it. Like, you got to play, man, because now you're done with college. You're no longer at a university that you're on scholarship at.
Right.
Who, you can take another year and hang out or do whatever. Like, and they're already starting to cut back salaries. So the NBA, I think starting May 15th, the players are going to lose half their salary, and then it's going to slowly furlough after that, and then you're done. All these ticket brokers, all these hotel chains, everybody who's paid to go to these events in advance, we are one of them. We'd gotten a hotel and some plane tickets and all that shit. All of it was canceled, and we got our money back. But what about the businesses themselves? What about the hotels? What about the airlines? What about the vendors, the people who are working at the stadiums and all that shit? Like, it was a pretty bleak outlook last night. And for the NFL to lean so heavily on COVID-19 and all the shit, like, because it was a long goddamn show. It should never have been that long, first of all. Second of all, when every cutaway is regarding COVID, it's depressing, man.
Yeah. I wish they would have just been like, this is the draft. This is going to be our one little shining, because for a lot of people it was, right? Like our one little shining moment, our one little glimpse into what sports, is going to be like. And so, yeah, that definitely sucks.
So
I don't know why they had to lean so heavily. Were they getting donations and like?
Yes, they were asking for donations.
Okay.
So that was one of the big things last night. They were asking for donations for COVID and everything else. Again, it felt like Katrina.
Right.
Like where you're asking for donations and everything else. But then every single conversation with the kids who were drafted and with the GMs, and it started the same way of like, hey, I know we're in an uncharted waters here, and this is an unprecedented time. How are you holding up? And it was just like, after the 80th one of those, you're like, man, I am all good with this. Now the NFL, on the other hand, and this is what I said to Dan last night on air, it seemed like they knew, hey, this is the only sporting event that's going to be on for like 2 months. Mm-hmm. Let's just drag this out and get as many advertisers as we can, because
for sure.
We don't know when we're coming back. So we'll see, but that's what it felt like. It was really, really fucking long. I think the last pick was right around the midnight area, 12:30-ish, somewhere in there. And
Mom was 9-9.
Yeah. I get it. And here's the sad part about it was the entire draft as a whole was great, and it was exciting pick-wise. Until the very last pick. Yes, there was a guy that we were all, Dan and I were like, man, if it's one of these 4 guys, the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl next year. Sure enough, it was one of those 4 guys with the last pick in the first round. You were like, man, if this was real life, minus COVID and all this shit, like last night would have been an absolute fucking rager all the way around. And because the picks and all that stuff were there last night. And the star power was there. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it'll be there next year. I don't know what's going to happen next year. I don't know where it's going to be next year.
So is Gat happy or not?
Yes, through the roof. Yeah, okay. Yeah. You're a good friend of ours, Gat, Kansas City.
Did you guys call her or no?
No, because at that point, like
it was late.
You know what? Like when the Oscars do Best Picture and they're always late, and so the show just ends. It's exactly what happened last night.
Oh,
it was just like,
okay, bye.
Oh, okay, we ran overtime and bye. We got to leave.
Right.
And we did a live show on the feed, and you can see the numbers just dwindling as people were like, and checking out. They were like, man, I
Everybody seems to be back up in the boards today. I mean, good for you guys.
Yeah.
Back at it.
Hammer the like button right now if you're watching on YouTube. That'll get that'll help us beat the shadow ban that we are under.
Let's do that, guys, at least.
Yeah, hammer the likes. Hammer the like button. Because we're on this, on a shadow ban on this, I have a call today to try to figure this out. And I'm also on one on Twitter for sure now. Like, there is just shit that they're not even showing anyone anymore.
No.
At all.
Yeah.
And it's becoming strange. We did a story on fake news yesterday about, Facebook limiting things in Vietnam and political parties and all that shit. Like,
we are slowly moving towards the dystopian society.
It's kind of what it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
It is kind of what it feels like. And then this morning, when I woke up, I always breeze through the news and everything that's going on before we get on the show. And the Hollywood system, studio system, like the AT&T, the head of AT&T Time Warner, which, look, all of these companies are buying up each other, and get ready for a lot more of that. He stepped down, and the guy from Warner Media took over, which is a digital outfit, which says, "Hey guys, we are getting out of the theatrical mode altogether here." So look for that as well, and then look for shows like this to keep expanding and growing and all that stuff. But that was a wild one, because that was the guy 2 days ago who infamously said, "We're rethinking our theater model and what we're going to do with this."
Mm-hmm.
Talked to some friends out in LA also last night, who were watching the draft and all that stuff. And they have no idea when production is coming back.
Is this our buddies, our friends?
Yeah.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah.
They were hoping for June initially. They're saying now July is out. So maybe August. And then today they were saying, look for a lot of these companies to start gobbling up one another and becoming a thing.
A big
conglomeration where, either it's Apple buying Disney or, Disney already owns Hulu. If that were to happen, let's say Apple bought Disney. Disney owns Fox. Disney owns Hulu, ESPN. I mean, you're pretty much you'll be headed to like 3 networks towards the end of all of this, and I don't know who's gonna last or who's gonna stay up on it.
Well, yeah.
Trump last night. There's this thing about people eating Tidepods and shit that's been trending all day.
Again?
And Lysol, and they're like, look,
Oh, because of what Trump said.
Yeah. You want to tell the audience?
Oh, so Trump was saying that he doesn't know. I mean, maybe we could test it out, but just injecting like disinfectants like into the body. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. So Lysol put out a statement.
Yeah.
Immediately that was like, we strongly.
Yeah.
If not completely, caution you guys, please do not inject any of our disinfectants into your body.
First of all, he was kind of kidding, and it was like,
I think he was saying the wrong word, but
Yeah.
He was saying there has been studies that it's gone in a minute.
Yeah.
Including your life, by the way. So the COVID is gone, but you will also drop dead. So try it out.
The hilarious thing is, after all of this, like, I'll eat the Tide Pods, even though our life really hasn't changed because we're going to work every day.
Yeah.
And all that stuff, like, besides the restaurants and the gym, our life hasn't changed. But last night, after watching the draft, which is something I love and all that stuff, like, I will eat the fucking Tide Pods at this point. Like,
yeah.
Let's just go back to normal, go out in public. And our shitbag governor here extended it until May 8th now. And it's like, it's another 2 weeks.
I have to say, I thought it was May 15th this whole time. So.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, only because that was the school thing. So it's like school's out till May 15th. By the way, it's out for the rest of the year. But
they did nuke it in North Carolina.
No.
Well, look, Texas did.
But yes.
Texas
do you know what I
did,
mean?
yeah.
Like,
no.
Texas did what?
They
nuked the schools
for the year.
Yeah. So, they're saying May 15th, but I just think it's probably because homeschooling is so hard. They don't want to just say, that's it.
Yeah.
So I guess May 15th in my mind was always sort of that number anyway. So once it extends beyond that, then I'll kind of get bummed. You know what I mean? But I already set May 15th as kind of starting to get back. So May 8th, I mean, I don't know. I'm fucking pissed, but it was supposed to be the 29th. Supposed to be the 29th, and it's not. And then I'm sure it'll get pushed back from there. And I mean, and depending what happens with Georgia, right? Like, everyone's just hoping that they don't want people to die, but they're definitely like, you know, they want this guy to fail.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so because he's just reopening too soon and da-da-da. Yeah. So just people in Georgia, like, be careful because we need you to do well so that we can all open up. You know what I mean? Like, don't just be fucking idiots. Like, don't bowl, actually, even though the bowling alleys are open. It's one place I'm going to say probably don't go. But, like, you know, start to be smart. I mean, how do you tell the masses to, like, be smart? You can't. You can't, right?
No.
You can't.
So,
especially when you've kept them away from it. Like, if they were like, this restaurant is open down the street, but, like, be careful, I'd be like, fuck you. Fill the place, right? Party. Because it's been so long, right? I don't know. So I'm not any better. But we need Georgia. We need them to do well so that everyone can be like, okay, well,
yeah,
they did it.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens.
They won't. I mean, everyone's gonna die there, but I'm hoping for.
I don't think so.
No, I actually think it might work, and I
fine.
Actually hope. I have a lot of faith in you, Georgia, that you guys are going to do the right thing, still be safe, slowly get back, so that we can all look at you as this beacon of, as we always have. Alabama will be the last one to open.
No, Alabama should be. One would think they're first. They don't give a fuck about life anyways, right?
I'm just talking about, like, the ones that are going to succeed, you know, that we need them to open first.
Alabama
is rough.
I think we should start going by states that we don't really care about, like Arkansas. Start with Arkansas and be like, all right, you guys open up everything, and let's use them as a test.
Or
like the state of Arkansas.
The Dakotas, right?
Northern South Dakota.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Nebraska. Who has ever been?
I know.
Who has ever been to Nebraska?
Alabama's a good one. Like, start in Alabama. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about life.
Where do our friends?
Florida. Start with Florida.
No, it's a big population.
Let's start at Floribama, right?
Yeah, right.
Just
right
open that one venue.
Open those two things, and then let's see what happens.
Then Nebraska, obviously. Then the Dakotas. And then maybe like a West Virginia, because who even lives there?
Well, Clef and Dale are from there.
Who? Member?
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean, member?
The West Virginia Preppers. She wasn't there for that.
Oh. Yeah.
The lost episode of Drinkin Bros.
So bummed I missed that one, guys. Improv I do love a good improv.
Yeah.
You know, people are doing, which if going to an improv show wasn't bad enough, they're now doing
online, yeah.
Zoom improv.
Yeah. I've got some friends who are. I've seen
people
that,
were saying
like,
I was mad.
Yikes.
I was mad last night. I wasn't mad.
Mad at what?
On the call. I was just like,
oh no,
what?
Yeah, you were.
I was
like,
just like,
not
not watching.
I'm not watching the draft, homeboy.
No,
yeah.
you were like, are you watching? And I was like, what is it? What is it that you're watching? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Well, because my phone.
I have kids around me, whatever.
After every pick, my phone was melting down to earth last night. So like, I glanced over and I saw your name. So I just called you live on air, and then you sent it right to voicemail. And I was like, whoopsies.
I let which I always say I never do, but I let the 6-year-old sleep in the bed with me.
Yeah.
So I had to like go in the other room. But yeah.
You know what else is strange yesterday is, I'm a diehard Rolling Stones fan.
Mm-hmm.
Their song, they put out a new song last night. It is #1 in the world. And they're saying they recorded this a long time ago, and they were like, well, we just thought it was, prophetic, so we put it out. And it's called Living in a Ghost Town, and it's just about a dude who's just living in a fucking empty town and shit. It's great. First of all, it's a really great song, by the way. I listened to it like 9 times on the way over here, on the drive over. But I was like, man, did the Rolling Stones get together just to record this one song and drop it right now? It's exactly what it felt like. But they were saying, no, man, we recorded it a while ago, and we didn't know what to do with it. So now it's out into the world. But, yeah.
Do you mind if I do an early crime corner?
Good.
Sorry.
We can do whatever we want here, James.
I know. I'm sorry. I just...
Let me get it in.
Oh, sorry. Go
Let me
ahead.
give you the intro you deserve.
So, Danielle, before your meeting, let's just do this one really quick. We'll do it together. Go ahead.
Yeah. Crime corner.
Okay.
Go to a 1, Jamie. We
Crime
can
corner.
We can go to 1 for Jessie on this. Go ahead.
Why?
Why not? We're doing mid-show crime corner. Go ahead. It's your time to shine, James.
I can't tell if you're mad or not.
Why would I be mad?
Okay. Anyways.
Why? I don't buble you, dude. You know?
Anyways, this is from Danielle Klum. What is it, girl?
Klum?
I always just say what up, Danielle. Danielle K. So I don't know. I think, yeah, Danielle K. So dog found behind the wheel after a high-speed chase in Washington State.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah.
Little did they know.
Little did they know.
A very sweet pit bull was reportedly in the driver's seat. And sweet pit bull. Sorry, pit people.
Yeesh.
It's not a thing.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Don't breed shame.
They'll rip your fucking pit. Yeah.
Face off.
I'm
and
a
your
breed
children's.
shamer.
Yeah. Same here.
See, after the car crashed, her owner faces multiple charges. So in Washington State, man led police on a high-speed chase on Sunday and may not have actually been driving.
Really?
Yeah. Officers say that they found the suspect's Pitbull behind the wheel after the Buick crashed. So unidentified 51-year-old male suspect is now facing several charges, including DUI, reckless driving, hit and run, and felony eluding.
Ah.
Eesh, dude. For what?
Yeah.
The man allegedly struck 2 vehicles before he fled on Interstate 5. One trooper reported seeing the pit bull in the driver's seat with the owner handling the steering wheel from the passenger.
You bet. You betcha.
So was he trying to get away with it by being like, because honestly, could you?
Maybe.
They have to prove you were driving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the most you could get is like animal endangerment.
Yeah,
right?
You can flop it on over to 2 here, Jamie. I'm gonna interject in this. I think this has happened more than we know.
Of people putting the dog in the driver's seat.
Yeah, and like kids and things like that, where it's just like, hey man, you wanna
for a
you wanna
high
give this
speed.
this?
He was getting
Why
to
not?
like 109.
Why not? You ever gone 109? It's really not that much different than 80.
Is it not? It really isn't. No, that's true. I will when we're on like the straightaway. Like sometimes I will look down and be like,
Whoa.
"Oh shit,
Whoa.
whoopsie
Doesn't
daisy."
feel like 109.
Yeah, I know. I think I've definitely got to 110 for sure. With just being like cruising,
Yeah.
feeling like I was cruising
I got pulled over at 118.
on the way to Raleigh.
I got pulled over at 118. Yeah.
When was this?
Spring break. And I was coming home, and I had one of those things in the front of my car that detects. The radars. Yeah, and I was like, no worries, dude. And here's the worst part. I had it on cruise control. I was on a fucking
At 118?
straightaway highway. It was like the Autobahn. Like, and I was like, yeah. It was Florida. I was coming back from Florida to Georgia. I guess the cop.
There's a good band.
Blaring rap music. And so I
Forget.
didn't hear the car, didn't see it. I was checked out, right? And I guess that when I got pulled over, the cop was like, hey, man. I mean, it freaked out, guns drawn, the whole thing, right? Yeah. And he goes, did you not see me? And I was like, no, dude. And you know.
I was going 118. I wasn't seeing anything.
Well, none
Not
of that,
clearly,
but it didn't
anyways.
feel like it, to be honest. Like, it really didn't. And I was just like, I had it on cruise control.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you set the cruise control at the speed that you're seeing in front of you. So, like, it doesn't just go to 118. Like, you
No, I know.
set cruise
Yeah.
control for 118.
I'd gotten it up to 120, and I thought, I was like, maybe 118. Maybe I'm pushing it there. Because it was just a straight highway, right? And so here's what I didn't know that I found out that day. That you can get arrested for that. So if you're over
bro.
at 25
You basically,
miles
like,
over
have
the
a
speed
deadly
limit or something.
weapon. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know. And the guy, so like I'm cuffed, the whole shit, and
Sure.
coming back from spring break, and I'm cuffed and everything. And he goes, what the fuck? Like, I was following you for 7 miles. But to be fair, when you're going 118, 7 miles is like a minute and a half, you know?
Sure.
Whatever. You know, I was like, hey, I didn't know. And I got this thing. And he goes, oh, just to let you know, those don't work anymore. And I was like, fuck, you know, I paid $150 or whatever. And he goes, we're going to take you to jail. Like, this is very illegal. And at the time, again, coming back from spring break, my friends were in another car and all this shit, and I had a bunch of trunk space. We kind of swapped it out. So I had cases of beer in my trunk. I mean, cases. And I go, look, man, I wasn't intentionally trying to put you on a high-speed chase or anything like that. Clearly, I had this thing in my car, on my thing, that I didn't think anybody would detect it on a radar and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, look, I got about 25, 30 cases of beer in the trunk. How about I just give this to you guys and we can let this go? And he goes, open up the trunk. So I opened up the trunk.
What movie is this?
No.
Please.
This is not a movie, because this, and my parents, if they're watching, can attest to this, right? So I opened up the trunk. There's all this beer in there, and they took the beer, and then they wrote me a ticket for, I think it was 93 miles an hour. So that way, it was 1 mile under the thing to where you actually get arrested, because he had called it in that I was speeding. So that ticket was like $316. I mean, it was back in the day, it was fucking crazy expensive, and I got like 2 or 3 points off my license. Like, it was a whole fucking deal. And I didn't want to tell my parents because it was my dad's car, obviously.
Right.
I called like this weird uncle, and I was like, hey man, can you just lend me this like $300 or whatever? And they sent the ticket home. My parents found out about it, all that other shit. And it was a bad sitch for me in high school, right?
Whatever. It was a lot better than getting arrested, bro.
Yeah. Fully it was.
Like, that kind of story doesn't happen to anyone.
Fully it does. And so, anyways,
Shut up.
with that, you know, they took all the beer and they were cool about it. And I got this ticket that was exactly 1 mile under whatever the max was. So I had to pay for it. And you literally drop like, I think 3 points on your license or whatever it is. But I will say this, going at that speed on a straightaway empty highway, it really wasn't that big of a deal, to be honest with you. And I've gotten it up over 100, and so have you, I think, on some of these drives back where you're just like, oh.
I just said that.
That's what I'm saying.
But, so this wasn't that, though.
No.
No.
But this is letting the dog do it. And here's my point to
But
all
he
of it.
wasn't just like cruising and then was like, oh my gosh, he. Do you know what I'm saying?
I would feel, what I'm saying is this. I would feel confident putting the dog in there and then just controlling it. Even going 109. It depends on the road. What was he? It was 109, right?
It was 109.
Yeah.
And again, it wasn't just like, whoops, 109. It was like 109 during a high-speed chase, and at one point drove on like a popular trail where pedestrians and cyclists were.
I didn't get into any of that
two
shit.
Cars.
Yeah.
You know, reckless driving at 109.
Sure.
The state patrol officer said that the driver told her that he was just teaching the dog how to drive. And all of that other stuff was just a casual, just par for the course.
That's what happens, though, when you're teaching a dog to drive.
When you're fucked up in your 96 Buick. By the way, how did this car get up to 109? Not sure.
What is it, a 96 Buick?
A 96 Buick.
Oh, it's definitely possible.
Aren't those boats? Are those boats or not boats?
I've gotten a Ford Tempo up to 120 before.
Yeah, that's true.
It felt like it was like a spaceship going into outer space. The whole thing is shaking, and you feel like, the booster's gonna pop off, and that's it. Like, that's what it felt like. But it's definitely possible. Definitely possible.
Yeah.
Did you ever do any crazy shit like that?
What do you mean?
Driving wise, high school, college, all that stuff.
Driving like that?
Yeah. Did you ever get up to that speed?
No. We used to do this thing up in Upper Ojai. There was like this windy ass road up to a trail. And as we know, I've always said, like, we just like drink out in nature.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like you guys had
yeah.
cul-de-sacs
Yep.
or houses or whatever.
Yep.
We would just drive up to weird nature places and have like big parties because no one was around, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we would get super drunk, and then down this windy road, we would race.
Yeah.
So if anyone was coming
I think
on the other side.
I know those roads. Those are awful, man.
Yeah, well, if
Remember when
anyone
your
was
dad's
possibly
got flooded, we had to take those windy roads
yes.
around the back, and I was
so
like,
it's like that.
Jesus
so,
Christ.
but we would have two cars on the same, like right next to each other on those
God.
roads.
Yeah.
I definitely flipped over into a.
You did?
Yeah.
Were you in the vehicle?
Yeah, I was driving, dude. I was
Holy
racing.
Shit.
I was racing my rabbit, and so it like dumped off the side because I think either another car was coming because I'm saying we're both on. Someone's driving on the wrong side, and you guys are racing down to the bottom. And at one point when we got to the bottom, I flipped into this ditch, but there was a telephone pole. So we were able to just like push it back out.
Right.
But yeah, for sure, many things like that I wonder why I'm alive. Do you know what I mean? Like that's like, are you kidding? Like even
Yeah. Look, everybody does dumb shit at one point. And you're just like, all right, I lived through that, I guess. But,
yeah, for sure.
yeah, in my situation about that ticket going 118, like I was on a straightaway highway and I didn't really feel like it was doing anything. It was just like,
You weren't
all right.
drunk.
No.
Yeah.
That was fully
what it
cuffed, breathalyzers, the whole shit. And,
Sure.
and they were like, oh, and it was like mid-morning.
Yeah.
Like I'd left in the morning, so it was like 9:30 in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, I was driving at midnight or 4 a.m. Like I was clearly leaving the hotel and just going home. But, I've also been in those Teslas, shit. I was in Josh's and we put that fucker up to 105 on the way to Raleigh. It's one road and it didn't feel like we were doing anything whatsoever. But the difference is with a Tesla, it stops on its own.
Yeah. Like,
it drives the car for you.
yeah.
So, looking back at it, all the stupid shit we did in high school with driving and all that stuff, more than likely our kids won't have to deal with because they'll all be self-driving and parking and all that other stupid shit by then. So
yeah.
yeah.
I just like to, I guess I used to just like to drink and drive. It was before Uber though. What am I going to do? Leave the car there?
LA is a different stitch because the city's so big that you have to drive everywhere, and it's just
yeah.
It's a mess. LA's a mess like that.
It's a mess, and then
so is Nashville too, man. Like there's a lot of people moving to Nashville. We talked to an actor, AJ Buckley the other night from SEAL Team was on Drinkin Bros, and he bought a place in Nashville.
So many different, yeah. I think
you have to get off at exits, and it's the same way with Atlanta, where it's just like, man, it's so spread out. Uber and all that shit, like, it's fine, but there's a lot of places that are just so far there where you're like, eh.
That and like, there's no, hey, we're gonna go to this one neighborhood thing. It's wherever the person, like the party decides to go, which can be in freaking Culver or do you know what I mean? It's not like, let's go to the local. There's no such thing.
No.
It's just whatever is the hot thing that night or whatever is going on, whatever. And it could be 20 miles away.
And
could
for
be
me,
fucking 5.
like I'm amped about the Tesla takeover where it's just like, great, drive me anywhere I want to go. Like I'm good with it. There's nothing I find appealing about the physical act of driving itself where I'm like, oh yeah, this is rad. No, dude.
I just don't want to leave my
get
car
wherever
places.
I'm going. Yeah,
I don't want to
same.
like drive to the place in the morning.
Same.
Like, and then Ubers
and the gas sitch too. Like, I don't want to depend on the Middle East for oil. Luckily, gas is like 80 cents a gallon now,
right?
Which is awesome. But I don't want to depend on the Middle East for oil. I don't make all the cars electric. I don't give a shit. I know other countries are doing it by a certain year. Like, great, make them all electric. Drive me wherever I want to go. And I don't want to do shit.
Yeah.
Inside the thing.
Yeah. And nobody's using Uber right now. So when it comes back, and it was already going downhill.
Yeah.
It's like when it comes back, it's just going to be a fucking nightmare, dude. And like, I know it's a better option. I know. But sometimes when I'm like, like running late or something, I don't want to just like sit in the back of a stinky car and talk to somebody for longer than it would take for me to just drive there.
Right.
And so what if I'm like, a little tipsy. I'm just joking. Again, I will not get a DUI with kids in the car, but other than that.
But I'll teach my dog how to drive it. You know, I'll teach my dog how to drive a car.
It's a thing of
Why
like,
not?
yeah, the cops come to the window. You have to do one of those like really exaggerated.
Sorry.
You have the dog there, the Pitbull, fucking trying to rip the cop's face off. Sorry, he took me hostage. I mean, there's all kinds of things you can say. The dog kidnapped me. It's a Pitbull. I mean, fucking look at him, right?
Yeah.
Because really, when you do get pulled over, you would like try. I've gotten pulled over drinking and driving a couple times. You would try anything.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had a dog,
Yeah.
no question, I would throw him in the driver's seat and try it. I would just try it.
Put the clothes on the dog.
And
Just put clothes on the dog and be like, I thought it was a human, and he was gonna drive me home.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was gonna
Like
give me a lift.
you would try anything when that cop is walking up to the car. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So like I get it.
Yeah, I understand it. We get some sponsorships.
Cool.
Pay for the magic of the show to be on the air. First
Whoa,
of all,
whoa.
hey, ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. Got a call from Ghostbed last night. They're going to give away 2 free pillows now with every single purchase. So
I love that only because you really do need the
Pillows are
pillows
the
and the
best.
mattress, and you have like that perfect.
Yes. And if you got that stimulus check, look, there's a 36-month pay-as-you-go program there. Take the 25% off.
I mean,
take
we
the
don't.
free pillows.
We're not condoning that. We're actually not saying that, but we're just saying if you.
25% off everything.
A lot of
James.
companies have
Like,
gotten in trouble for saying that.
Who gives a shit? I would do it. Fuck. You kidding? If I didn't have a ghost bed, this is the first fucking thing I do. How many nights have we spent just up watching shit or whatever?
But we go to bed earlier than we normally would to like chill in there instead of the living room.
Yeah. We're just
comfy.
Like, the bed
with
is
the
nice as
bunch
shit.
of pillows up.
Yeah, it's the best.
Oof.
So they're giving 2 free pillows away with the purchases and all that shit. And the 36-month pay-as-you-go program knocks it down to like $20 a month. So you're good. You're good to go, son. Go to ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros today. Next up, we've got expressvpn.com/revolution. Look, kids, you got to protect yo shit. You got to protect your computers, laptops, iPhones, everything. People are trying to hack into your shit, man, left and right. And if you don't have a seamless app running in the background to make sure that China isn't trying to grab all your shit, then you're fucked. Because I've 3 times in the last 6 weeks, somebody's trying to hack my shit. Didn't work. Sorry. They got expressvpn.com/revolution. $7 a month. That's all it is, dude. You plug it in and you forget it. It just runs on your computer and that's it. I think everybody has a VPN at this point. Expressvpn.com/revolution is where you get it. $7 a month. If you get a year, you get 3 for free there. And it also beats all your firewalls at work. So they pass protected all your shit and they don't let you watch porn or sports or whatever. James, you can break it with this. And you can also get Netflix from different countries. Woo!
Yeah, if you're at the end of the queue.
Real nice, which we are. We are at the end of the queue. We were done with all of it.
I watched a great doc last night.
Did you really? We'll get into one that's coming out here soon that people didn't know about. So go to expressvpn.com/revolution today. Next up, we get strikeforceenergy.com.
Boom, 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 boom. Shablon anchor.
Only thing that kept me going last night. That was the only thing that kept me going. Was
Oh my gosh.
I was pounding it in those
Cannot.
White Claws.
Imagine.
I had to drink out of Rick Ben. I'm going to give you a shout out. I had to drink some of that Jameson straight out of the bottle last night after that Falcons pick.
Love it.
Ish.
Love to see it.
You guys are killing me, dude. But Strike Force Energies, look, lasts longer than 5-hour energy. That's why I'm up and at 'em every single day with a bright, big smile on my face.
Like the Joker. No.
Go to strikeforceenergy.com today. No carbs, no sugars. Last longer than 5 hours. And 10-pack, 40-pack, 750-milliliter bottle, and they'll ship it right to your house for free. Use the promo code REVOLUTION at strikeforceenergy.com. Gets you 20% off Revolution, 20% off at strikeforceenergy.com. Last but not least, we got straightrazors.com, Jabes.
Ooh, that's a clean cut. Smooth. You right?
Ah!
Oh.
Oh.
Wasn't pretty. Wasn't graceful.
No.
But we got through it.
It hurt a little bit. I feel like it's in my mouth. I feel like you got some on my mouth on that one.
Got it in your mouth?
Yeah, I feel like I tasted it for some reason. I feel like I could chew it a little bit.
Eesh.
Like it was kind of like one of those, like if you were eating beans and weenies, and like a weenie pops up, and you kind of throw up, and that one weenie comes up, you got to re-chew it. You're like, oh, did I spit this out, or am I going to full on puke, or do I just chew it and swallow it back down?
Bro,
that's what it felt like. Straight razors, though, will feel like a very nice, smooth shave across your face. The razor. You definitely won't be re-chewing an old hot dog from yesteryear, just so you're not puking in your mouth. Go to straightrazors.com, promo code REVOLUTION. 20% off. And look, the stores are still out of shaving supplies, so order it online. They got everything. You need to be a real man there. A real man, yeah. Yeah, I'm a real man.
Yeah.
What doc were you watching last night?
Circus of Books.
What was that about?
It was about how the internet and internet porn is putting ma and pa hardcore gay porn stores out of order. And by ma and pa, yeah. Okay. And by ma and pa, I literally mean no, out of business. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I was like, did you have to stick your dick in something?
No. So by ma and pa, I literally mean like a family. So this family ran Circus of Books. So do you remember Circus of Books? And it was they had one in, I think the last one was in Silver Lake.
No.
But before that was in Santa Monica.
It's surprising though. I never got into graphic gay porn.
No, it's just, I never went inside either, but it's this huge sign that like, if you saw it, you'd be like, oh yeah, I drove by that a fucking million times. I didn't know what it was. Do you know what I mean?
Got it, yeah.
Because they started it when it was illegal to have any porn, let alone gay porn paraphernalia, like at all, right? So it was like Circus of Books, and it was like a bookstore, whatever. So it was run by this like full-on super religious Jewish family, mom, dad, 2 brothers, daughter, like, sure. And apparently they never, they didn't really look at the stuff. It was a very lucrative business back in the day when that stuff was kind of illegal, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So they had dildos and fucking
gag
lubes
balls
and all of that shit.
Right.
And then all hardcore gay porn DVDs and VHS.
Oh, all right.
So this documentary kind of chronicled the decline of that business and like a family losing their business. But guys, there's images of like the mom, like the older, she's like a full-on normal grandma that owned this place.
Okay.
And she's just throwing out just buckets of like hardcore gay porn and dildos and stuff. And
How
you're
old
just
was she?
like, at this point, I think she was like 70 probably.
Yeesh.
They'd had it.
Dildos away, huh?
Well, they were selling this. I mean, that was it.
No,
Circus of Books was closing.
Yeah.
And there was like old gay guys that had worked there since the fucking heyday.
Yeah.
Sad, man.
Yeah.
Where
What channel
it's
was
like,
this on? What network was this on?
Netflix.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
All right.
And like they had a heyday. So like they were killing it at one point.
Yeah.
And like Pride and all of the shit, like,
Yeah.
back in the day.
Wow.
So it was sad to see. It was really sad to see that they couldn't transition into a new world because, like becoming obsolete, stuff like that. It's sort of like, we know people like that where it's like their business at one point was fucking killing it.
Yeah, booming.
And internet streaming or whatever it may be,
Yep.
there's things you don't think about.
There
like
was
the family-owned hardcore gay porn bookstore
exactly
down the street.
So there was a hardcore porn store across the street from one of the very first places I lived in LA.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all DVDs and VHS tapes and all that other shit. And last time I popped down there, it was like they've been closed, for years and years and years, because once everything goes digital, it's kind of like Blockbuster. What do you need it for? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I mean, and then also you can discreetly order fucking dildos and everything
through
you
the
want
mail, yeah.
online.
Yeah.
Many sites, including Amazon, I think. But
yes,
anyway.
you can on Amazon.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, like why would you want to go? Except for like the odd like drunken night where you're just like, let's go in there, right?
Right.
Other than that,
yeah, I get it. It's tough because there's one on the way to Carolina Beach.
yes,
There's that one little shack that's open. You see a handful of cars out there, and you're like,
there has to be other things going on
yeah,
there.
it's got to be drugs. It's got to be drugs or something.
Drugs or full on prostitution.
Maybe.
Do you know what I mean? Like
Maybe.
that's the only next step
Yeah.
where there's like some back room with some shit.
And then-
Otherwise, there's no reason.
The rise of the digital age too, with phones, where you can send nudes and all that other shit to each other. That cuts down on porn. Like there was an article today in the Miami Herald that just said there has been a massive spike in people sending explicit photos to one another because of the quarantine and everything else like that. It's like, yeah, why would you need to go to a store for any of that shit? And the other part is the embarrassment of it. Walking in there and purchasing this shit and having somebody see you on the way out with it,
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like,
Yes. So she was saying
it was
too.
Meghan Trainor was the last one. She got popped buying, dildos and all kinds of fucking wild shit in a bag, and like she was trying to cover her face walking out of this place. And
Meghan Trainor.
yeah, exactly. I'll let you live with that thought in your head. She's getting rammed with a 2-footer. Like,
No, I mean, there's this new, I don't know, they do it on the Housewives all the time. They always have one, because it's such a scripted show, but they always have one day where like all the girls go to like a sex store and they like try on all this stuff and get super nervous and stuff. So there's that too, where it's like bachelorette party, whatever. I just don't know why you're not ordering it online, Meghan Trainor. But anyway,
yeah.
maybe she was like last minute thing. She was on the way to something. I have no idea.
And here's the deal, like, 'cause if you see this picture, she has no makeup, no like a baggy sweatshirt. She clearly did not want to be recognized,
Right.
But she needed her sex toys, and
Look,
she needed them ASAP.
no,
if
I
you
get
order
it.
it's still gonna take 2 days.
No, I know. I get
right?
it. I get it.
Some of these sex toys are spur of the moment, where it's just like, oh
Sure.
shit,
Need him now.
let's get loose tonight. Yeah.
Need him now. One broke,
Somebody-
whatever it may be.
Yeah. Somebody brought over some MDMA, and it was just like, whatever.
Yeah, so that's what this lady was saying is like her customers like that go into Circus of Books like towards the end
Mm-hmm.
were in walkers. Like old ass because that's still
Yeah, they didn't know
how
any
they
better, yeah.
consume their porn.
And that's what I'm.
And they haven't.
That's what I think about that shop on the way to Carolina Beach, where I wonder if, because there is some retirees and all that other stuff here, if that's still the only way they know, and it's just like, all right, man.
Yeah, I have a DVD player. If
I
it
got
ain't
a
broke,
VCR, yeah.
if it ain't broke, I'm not gonna. I mean, I'm sure their VCR works better than our technology here in the studio.
Easily, man. Like,
Do you know what I mean, though?
It does.
That shit is not breaking down.
yeah.
It's this new fucking bullshit.
Yep.
And I hate to sound like you.
Well, I've said it numerous times, and I'll say it numerous times again.
But for a
Technology just isn't there yet.
way long time, I had a VCR DVD combo. For
Oh,
way
yeah,
longer than
for
I
sure.
should have.
For sure.
And I was just like, this is it. This is the end. I never thought in a million years that machine would be obsolete. Like, that wasn't even in my mind. I was like, this is it. I have the best of the best.
Yeah.
I can always watch anything ever.
I bought a new pickup truck right around Christmas, right? And we needed it for work because we're lugging around production equipment and all that shit. And I went to take it for a test drive, and I was looking at the stereo and everything else, and they're like, oh, it comes with Sirius XM and, Apple CarPlay and all that other bullshit. And then I looked, and there's a CD player still at the top. And I go,
Got to.
hey, man, is there any way I can get this without the CD player? And he was like, no, like it just comes in all cars still. And I
Why
was
would
like,
you want it without it?
what CDs am I going to play, Jessie?
You never know, dude.
You think I'm going to find Pearl Jams alive?
I think about that. Yeah, I think about that. You still have your books of CDs upstairs, so.
I do. Well, you know why? So what I did was I put them all. I have an older computer, and I was trying to amass a gigantic library full of shit. So what I did was I took all of those CDs individually, put them in my computer, and then that was on my iPod, and I had like the best iPod of all time.
Then why do you still have the CDs?
No reason. So
Cool.
I could pitch those. For real.
Do it.
I know, but I don't think about them. I didn't even know they were still there, to be honest with you. But what I did was, this was probably 2 years ago or 3 years ago. I took every CD, plugged it in, put it on my thing, on my iPod. I had the best iPod of all time. I had like 45,000 songs. Fuck you. And I was like, great. And then what comes out, 2 years later? Apple Music, Spotify, all that other shit. And I was like,
was that 2 years later only?
What's that?
You had done all that like 4 years ago?
No. It was longer than that, obviously. But I'm saying 2 years after I'd done the CD thing, like
Apple Music came in.
Yeah, because I want to say this computer is like, I don't know, fucking 2013 or something. Probably did it in 2014. Okay. And then 2 years later, Spotify, Apple Music, and all that shit. That's how fast technology changes. Where you're just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
You're wiped out of that. Like, and I look at all of that shit that I took the time to plug in and do everything with the iPod. Remember the first iPod was like this thick?
Oh yeah, it was
like
shit. Bigger than this phone.
Yeah. And it was heavy.
Thicker, yeah.
Thicker, heavier, all that stuff. And if it wasn't in your iPod, you weren't getting it, And that's why I had done it at the time and saved all the CDs. And then after that, hey, dude, now everything is on this bullshit. So you're just like, great.
Yeah.
And you're also not paying for a physical CD anymore, so it fucks over the bands.
Yeah.
Streaming is paying, what does it pay? Like 0.2% of a penny or something? Like 1 cent?
Yeah, but it's just the touring model now,
It is, but now you can't tour.
Yeah, exactly.
Touring shut down. And if Benny Daniel is correct in his assessment, that means there's no concerts this year either. So, because that's not something you're going to play for. You're not going to play for an empty venue and stream it. You know. And then like musicians are trying weird shit. Like Post Malone today I heard at like 3:30 or something on YouTube, he's going to do Nirvana, just play the entire unplugged album himself. He's going to do it. That is the rumor going around today at like 3:30. Yeah. And so
he wasn't out late last night? He wasn't partying?
Nothing's open. Where's he going?
Dude, that guy, he can party.
He lives in Utah. No, that is one state where you cannot party at all during non-quarantine times. Like,
Doesn't he have a big house somewhere?
He does. He's got a huge house in Utah. But like, can you have friends over and all that shit? Yes. But it depends on who got to you when and why. Like,
Okay.
So, yeah, look, I'm sure he raged last night, but at his house, like a normal person, you wake up and, but yeah, there's a rumor that he's going to play the entire Nirvana Unplugged album at like 3:30 today on YouTube.
Great choice.
By himself.
Do you remember that shit?
Just acoustic. So we'll see. Yeah. And I think you're gonna have to get more creative like that. I don't know if it's sponsored by somebody or I don't know much about it, to be honest with you, but
I'm sure. I mean,
that's got to be the next.
His
thing.
life is sponsored by Bud Light Seltzer, so I'm sure.
Bud Light, yeah, itself, but yeah. So I don't know if that's going to be the new model for things going forward and all that shit, but yeah, the mom and pop gay porn people, I do feel bad for, Japes.
I did.
I know.
It was sad.
I feel sad talking about it. So
things you don't think about,
No, not at all.
When you're streaming your porn on your phone, okay? The things you don't think about is the family you are putting out of business.
When you're streaming your pornography
on X video and then getting rid of those cookies.
Yeah.
Gotta delete the cookies, okay? Or else next time somebody searches on your phone, blammo, will pop right up.
You gotta delete the cookies.
Hey, guys, the cookies are what's gonna get you, and you don't think about it.
You sound like an old Jewish landlord from New York smoking
I sound like
Capri
the owner of
120s.
Circus of Books.
Yeah. You don't think about the cookies. It's the cookies on the porn that'll get you.
It's true. And if you're not deleting cookies,
I was almost veering into Alex's favorite territory of you're going to like the way you look. I guarantee it. Men's Wearhouse.
is that your favorite, Alec?
I wonder what happened to him if he got popped for something like being handsy.
Has
little
not
Me
been
Too
around.
or whatever.
I think he had cancer.
Oh, really?
Throat cancer, yeah.
Shit. Well, did he really?
I don't know. It was something
makes
kind
sense.
of
His voice
like
was amazing.
that. Yeah,
His voice
let's
was
see.
amazing. By the way, I want to give a shout out to my bro handle, Christian Kane. They're rebooting Leverage. He was one of the leads on Leverage and remaking it. What happened to the guy?
Nothing. I'm just like, just thinking about that is funny.
The
to me.
remaking Leverage?
I think it's great. Like, I really do. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, they had a lot of fans. That show had a lot of fans.
I think it's great.
Here's the
Christian Kane
thing.
just cannot stop working.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I thought this at least would take him down.
No.
He's going back to the beginning.
He's got a new show on.
He's going back to the beginning.
He's got a new
He's
show
already
on
been to the top.
WGN too, Almost Paradise. He's the lead in that.
Wow.
And they shot the entire thing in the Philippines. That was the one where he called me. He was like, "Hey man, why don't you come out and do the show? They'll fly you out to the Philippines and all that shit first class." And I was like, "How long is that flight, bro?" He's like, "I don't know, 28 hours, something like that." And I was like, "No, I'm good. I'm good." But yeah, they're bringing back Leverage, and with the entire cast except for Timothy Hutton. You know who Timothy Hutton is, right?
Yes.
Yeah, dude, he got Me Too'd, and I didn't know that. But in this article yesterday, I read it, and I was like, "Oh shit."
He got Me Too?
He did, yeah. So they're bringing back the whole cast except for him because of that, some sexual allegations and shit. But I didn't know.
Interessant. So, Men's Wearhouse, George Zimmer, was fired.
For?
Yeah, the founder, former executive chairman of Men's Wearhouse, issued an ultimatum to his colleagues on the board and directors, according to a statement from the board released Tuesday morning, but this was a long time ago. Mr. Zimmer presented the board with the choice of either A, continuing to support our CEO and the manager team on the successful path they've been taking, or B, effectively reinstating Mr. Zimmer as the sole decision. They chose to dump Zimmer. I don't know.
Oh man, you don't
and
dump
this
Zimmer.
Yeah, so I guess they.
You're gonna like the way you look.
Yeah, kind of weird
it.
circumstances, right?
Sort of.
Like,
You ever had a suit from Men's Wearhouse? Probably
they
not.
ambushed and fired him 2 years after he turned over his CEO role.
Really?
So you keep sounding like him.
Do I?
Yeah. Like,
whenever we
really? You're so, I
whenever
don't
we
know.
talk
Whenever
about
you,
him, I can't stop. I can't stop.
it's blending. You are him.
I can just see him at because I didn't know he was the CEO. I thought it was just an actor. I didn't know he
Oh
owned the
no!
company
Like
and shit.
he really was. He really was the guy, right?
It would have been. Could you imagine going into a meeting with him as your boss? Hey, Carl.
Yeah.
Carl, how's your sales this quarter? Are you selling enough suits?
Yeah, bro. Like
What do you-
that's how it
Hey,
was.
Carl, what do you think your sales are going to be? I don't know. I hope to get up maybe 30% this quarter. Well, can you guarantee it? Carl, can you guarantee it? Can you guarantee me you're going to be up 30%? Because I'm going to need to know that. And you're going to like the way you look, I guarantee. Because here's the thing, Carl. When you're going home with that extra bacon in your pocket, that extra dough,
Can we
that
get
extra,
Zimmer on?
that extra cash, you're going to like the way it feels. I guarantee it.
That would be
Carl.
a really funny,
Carl.
weird show.
Yeah.
So this happened.
How do we get a hold of Zimmer, dude?
He hasn't been. He was thrown off.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it was 2015.
2015. That's a long time ago.
I know.
I feel like I'm still seeing the commercials, though.
No, you what?
Oh, I'd love to get him on the show.
And then you guys just talk back and forth
Back
like
and
that.
forth like this. Hey, is his name George?
Yeah, George Zimmer.
It's George. George, how are you? This is Ross. Are you doing good today?
Yeah.
We're doing great.
But it would just be
I need to fill up my truck with diesel gasoline after this.
You guys, he would be Zimmered, and then you would be
great.
Zimmered,
Be
and you
great.
both would get Zimmered.
I would love to Zimmer him. You know?
Just give him a Zimmer.
Right in front of his face. Just give him a hard Zimmer.
A Zim job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The bathroom's the third door on the right out there.
When you've had a hard night, you definitely sound like him all the time, I guess.
Really?
I mean, everything that you were saying, even when you weren't trying to be him, sounded like him.
I think it's because
just like
once,
a lower
once it's
register,
in my mind,
yeah.
Once it's in my mind, then I'm full Zimmer, you know? A method, baby. You know this about me, baby.
Maybe.
Look, kids, if you're following along at home and listening to the audio show, we're going live every day right around noonish here on the YouTube. Subscribe to Drinkin Bros podcast on YouTube. All of our media shows are on there. And please rate the show on iTunes. We are only 60 away from 1,000 reviews. 60. Just go on your phone. Give it a 5-star on iTunes and a quick rating. We're only 60 reviews away from 1,000. That would be a big deal. You're going to like the way it feels, too. I can guarantee it. Once you press that 5, I guarantee it.
You're getting Zimmered.
Yeah.
Zim
so do
job.
it. So do it.
Don't forget it's Friday. We got End on James.
What's that?
It's Friday. We got End on
That's right.
We already did it. For
We went to Jables before. You know? She got her single.
Yeah.
You got your single on camera?
They
We're
got
proud of you.
They got the single. I don't have anything to say. I mean, I love you guys, but
Yeah.
it's been a long one.
It's been a long week. By the way,
Try and have a good
if
weekend.
you're on the channel too right now, anybody watching on YouTube, Fake News will be up today. We tried to go live with it yesterday and had some technical difficulties. It was a long day yesterday. So we recorded it and filmed it, and we will be airing that at 4 o'clock.
For what?
Fake News.
Yeah.
Fake News will be airing at 4 o'clock today on this channel. So stay here and join us. And then Sunday nights. Tomorrow morning is Savage Saturdays with Derek Whita. He's one of my favorites, who's got one of the weirdest shows on the planet. So he's on here. And then Sunday nights is the big one. We have former White House Secretary Sean Spicer on the show for Drinkin Bros. And that'll be
Spice Dog.
Spice Dog.
Spice Dog millionaire, dude.
And that'll start airing 8 p.m. EST on Sunday nights. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, everybody, for reviewing us on iTunes and rating us. And we'll be here with you every day through the quarantine because I have a feeling they'll just keep extending this bullshit. So we'll see. Because the other part is, like, what if Georgia, South Carolina, and Tennessee, what if something goes wrong there? They're going to lock everybody back down again.
That's exactly what I was saying in the beginning. I was like, you guys, we need you to do.
Yeah.
Like a lot is riding on you guys, like getting out right, but not fucking dying.
Stay alive. That's all
Just
we're saying.
Stay alive
Stay
so
alive.
that we can open up the rest of the fucking world.
Exactly. For Jessie Wiseman, a.k.a. The Jables, I'm Ross Patterson. This is The Revolution. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.